Hey guys, welcome to Wave. We talk about a lot of things crypto. If that interests you, subscribe to the channel. In the last few episodes, we've spoken about a number of amazing tokens like Monero, like ApeCoin. In this video, we'll talk about Chiliz. Chiliz is a token that might affect your life, whether you're a crypto fan or not, whether you're a crypto investor or not. You will be seeing this token. Why? Because more than 4 billion people around the world are fans of some sport or the other. Right? You're most likely following a sport every week, every month. Right? You're probably waking up late at night trying to watch a match. This token will be there when you're trying to watch a match, in the near future. This is a token specially designed for fan engagement. It is probably one of the first tokens for sporting fans, for the entire sporting ecosystem itself. Chiliz has been in existence for a while. They're doing phenomenally well in terms of who they're partnering with. What is their future roadmap, some of the experiments that they have done. We'll talk about all that in this video. But let's begin with what is the problem. Right? What is the problem that Chiliz is actually trying to solve? So we have sports fans around the world. Right? If you take, let's say, European football leagues, right? Look at Manchester United. They have 350 million fans worldwide. They have more than 200 official branches of their supporter clubs in about 24 countries. That's a lot of fans. But how many of these fans can actually come to the stadium and watch a match? Not many. A fraction of this 350 million. Is there a way that Manchester United can actually engage these fans, reward them for being loyal fans? Maybe there's a fan sitting somewhere in India who might never go to Europe to watch one of these matches. How does this club actually engage them? That is where Chiliz comes into place. Chiliz wants to change the way fan engagement works. As a fan, what do you get? So you get a say in the club's matters, right? I'm not saying it's a great say. It could be even simple things like which song will be played at the beginning of the match, or should they change the jersey color to XYZ. Right? Simple things like that is where this is starting. In fact, this can go on to become something more complex where the fans can even decide what formations they should start with. This was already experimented with one club, and the club actually ended up winning 6-0 in that match. So, do the fans know better? Who knows, right? Uh, but this is an experiment in that direction. Who have they partnered with? A number of leagues around the world, right? Starting with football, right? That's where they really started. You have everybody from Manchester United, Manchester City, to FC Barcelona, to whatever. There are so many clubs that have already signed up. They are signing up with gaming teams. They are signing up with something like the UFC, motorsports, basketball. So the Lakers, for example, are a part of this already. They are signing up with even tennis related events. They are signing up with American football, ice hockey, and the MLS. In fact, the next big thing that they're going to sign up with is cricket. Right? What will that do? That will essentially cover the popular sports from around the world. They have 150 partners, 25 countries, 4 continents, and this will cover a large number of fans around the world. What does that mean for you as an investor? The more people engage with this token, the demand for the token goes up, hence the price rise. Right? Adoption is the indicator for price, and is there going to be adoption? That's what we're going to try and see. So what do? They created these fan tokens. Right? Fan tokens are like a way that gives you skin in the game. The popular terminology: put your money where your mouth is. This is what they're doing. They're selling you a fan token. Using fan tokens, you can vote on various decisions. You get some exclusive things like maybe some merchandise, maybe some NFTs, maybe even VIP access within the match environments and so on. So there are some interesting things that is possible. Some of which has already happened, but many of which are still in the pipeline. They are being tested. A number of clubs are soon coming up. So like how you probably invest in your stock markets through an IPO. So there is something called FTO, fan token offering. So there's a way a club gets listed on the exchange. Chiliz is the only trading pair for this, so you can only buy and sell this using Chiliz. and that's where the Chiliz ecosystem really comes into place. That's where Chili's token price will really start rising, right? There are a number of clubs that are listing soon. A number of clubs are already live. In fact, if you go to fantokenrank.com, you can see that almost 60 tokens are already listed, and these tokens have a market cap of well over $500 million. That's a lot. The first thing that Chiliz is doing is polls. So what do these polls do? For instance, let's say PSG has a poll that says pick a message for the captain's armband. Right, so they might give you 4 options. You can choose one among them, and depending on whatever you vote, they choose that. Right. So some of these decisions can be binding, which means that whatever the fans say, that is what the club will do. The messaging can go. These questions can go as much as things like what should the formation be, like I mentioned. Right. So the poll can be anything, but where I really see this taking off very well is not in polls. Polls are a great way to engage fans, but monetary aspect is very important. And if you take, for instance, the prediction feature that they have built into place, I'll just take Barcelona here. So if you look at some of the games, you as a fan can actually predict, right? So you can predict what the outcome of this game will be, and based on your outcome, based on what you predicted, you can you will get some points. Today it is points, but I feel in the future they might actually monetize this by using, let's say, Chiliz as a token. You bet 100 tokens and say, my prediction is 0-2. So this is a big market. Sports betting is a very big market. In fact, sports betting is almost I think it's illegal in most countries, but fans are crazy, and this just might be one way that Chiliz escapes the regulators, brings in sports betting in a very different way, right, from outside of the regulatory reach. So today, what's possible if you get, if you just send your score prediction, you get 50 points. If you predict the correct winning team, you get 100 points. If you predict the correct goal difference, you get another 100 points. If you predict the correct score, then you get another 100 points. What do you do with these points? You can redeem them for some merchandise, but that's not really important today. But what I like to see is, look at this match. 2,800 odd participants helped in predicting this. Right? People made a lot of predictions. Some of them, of course, came true. The actual outcome was 0-2. Did anybody predict that? So no, almost all major predictions did not have this. So imagine if this was, tied up with sports betting where you actually bet real money. Somebody who got this prediction right would have been making a lot of money. Right? That's where I feel there is a real potential for this token. For now, what I want to focus on is the fact that this feature is live. They are testing it with points, which hardly means anything. You might get some rewards for it, but beyond that, there's nothing much. But what is important is a number of people are engaging just for that. There are over 2,000 people engaging for almost each of these games, trying to predict who is going to win and what will the score line be and so on. So this predictor is a big feature that I am really betting on. If this predictor goes on to become a better version of sports betting, much more low risk version of sports betting, then I feel this is what will ensure that Chiliz will really explode. Right? There are two things that I feel Chiliz is really betting on. One is the sports predictor. The second is the launch of their new blockchain, which I'll talk about. I think these two things will ensure adoption rises like anything, and hence the price rise. But for now, they are in the right direction of experimenting with it. What is their usage? Well, Socios is essentially the app on which the Chiliz token is used, where all these polls, etc., are happening. So if you look at their app Play Store downloads, it's more than 1 million. They have the app is on App Store as well. So I think together they have well over 1.5 million downloads, maybe more. Chiliz is also partnered with Engine. This is to develop NFTs and digital sports. So this is another interesting play. We saw this happen with, if you take a Bored Ape Yacht Club, you can watch that video, how NFTs can become an entire market in itself. How the Bored Ape NFTs became so big that now from the Bored Ape NFTs, there are a number of things like even Bored Ape wine being launched. Right? There is a metaverse being launched. So Same way today, Chiliz is partnering with Engine to create NFTs, but these are, these could be tickets in the future. For now, it might be some interesting moments in the match and so on. They have even partnered with Chainlink. This is to ensure that you get the right real-time data. So Chainlink essentially is an oracle. Oracles will ensure that it connects the blockchain to the outside world. You get real-time information. So based on what's actually happening in the match in real time, Chiliz is able to generate NFTs that somebody might want to buy, and these NFTs could be linked to something in the future, right? Some reward in the future, and that's one reason how these NFTs could have value. Chiliz has also partnered with Binance. Binance is a strategic investor in Chiliz. If you look at these three partnerships, it shows that Chiliz is building the pipeline. Right? It is partnering with the right people. It's making the right noises, and looking at all the experiments that they have done so far, I feel they're in the right direction to actually go somewhere. What else is Chiliz up to? Chiliz recently created their blockchain called Sockville. Right? Why is this important? It's important because of this. Gas fee is 200 times cheaper than Ether. Right? We saw that with some of the other tokens, where as soon as gas fee became cheaper, for instance, Axie Infinity, as soon as the gas fee became cheaper in February of last year, the adoption rate increased tremendously. Today, Axie has more than 100,000 users per day. Is that possible with Chiliz? I feel it's possible. This is the catalyst that will ensure that it will happen. That's where I think that the blockchain and the sports betting are two important things that will really drive adoption of the Chiliz token. So this has just gone live on 31st of March. It's time to watch out for this, to see what's going to happen. In other news, you can see that Chiliz is partnering with clubs around the world. June 8th, very recently, they partnered with the first Indonesian club. So they have boots on the ground. This is not a token created by some anonymous people who exist only on the internet. This is a token with real people, real employees, with boots on the ground. They have offices around the world, so that gives it more credibility. They are going and partnering with clubs around the world. This is great. The more fans, the more users come on board. That is great for you as an investor, but not without any controversy. If you take, there are some things that people are really annoyed with. For instance, the token prices, and this was sold with a lot of fanfare, but token prices have taken a dip, probably in line with the crypto market itself falling. So nothing that I'm too worried about, but this is one thing that people are really annoyed with. There are some other things, like, for instance, Chiliz is trying to say that this token it gives you lifelong collectible, it gives you a lifelong ownership of fan tokens and so on. But it only becomes a collectible as soon as the club ends its partnership with Chiliz. So there are certain risks. They are not explicitly stating what is in the terms and conditions. Right? They're doing silly things like spelling mistakes in polls, but I think it's okay. These are things that happen, especially in a growing company where there are very few people. They're quickly trying to do things. A lot of people doing a lot of things, too much on their hands. So that's perfectly fine that something like this happens. Chiliz is today trading at about 0.1 cent, $0.1. Sorry, it has a market cap of about close to $500 million. Their all-time high was about a year ago. It was 0.87, so it's almost 90% down since then. Is this a good buy? That's up to you to decide. I've given you all the information. Where can this go? I can't really tell, but we know that sports is a big industry. We know that sports betting is a big industry. We know that NFTs is a big space. So that has a lot of potential, right? Taking all that into account, I feel somewhere Chiliz can rise up at least to its all-time high from where it crashed today. Right? Its all-time high was about $0.9. So that means Chiliz can go up at least 9 times, 10 times from where it is today in the next bull run, assuming that it has partnered with more clubs, it has actual engagement going on, the blockchain is up and running, and we start seeing the effects. So if you're looking for a good token to buy in the near future because the prices are low, if you want to buy the dip, this might be one token that you want to consider. I'm doing a series on tokens which have actual usage, actual people using it, and this is just one of them. We will continue this series. Next is Chainlink. We'll try and analyze Chainlink to see how good is that token.